Hello and welcome to episode 15. I should have checked that before we press record.
Yes, it was 15.
Yes. Episode 15 of Third and Short podcast. As you can probably see, there is 4 of us this week, and we'll come on to our special guest in a moment. But as usual, we have producer Jamie, co-host Tom, and myself, Matt. And we do have a special guest, Jord or Jordan. What do you prefer me to call you, mate? Jord or Jordan?
Anything's fine. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Anything's fine.
I am the wrong person to say that to. So as you can see, we've got the Seahawks fan, as he'll be known from now on, Jordan with us as well. Jordan is part of our group chat. I would say relatively new in that last couple of months, but you're one of the almost one of the old heads in there now. With what's going on in the last few weeks. But we'll come on to Jordan in a few minutes' time. But usual format, really, we're going to talk through the results from the weekend just gone. So me and Tom are done. We're out. We're finished for the season, and we'll go through what beverages we've got as well. But I will also say, as it has been the last few weeks, this podcast is brought to you in association with silverfx.co.uk. We've got all our merch on there. You can see what I'm sporting. Tom's got his bowl on there. We've all got some.
Still waiting for my bandana.
Jamie's still waiting. There we go. George's got the bowl out there as well.
I just want my bandana. Every time it's put into it, what do you want up there? Bandana. I don't even like bandanas, but it's my look. I need to keep it.
There is some great merch on there. We've actually got Andy Turner from silverfx.co.uk on with us next week to talk about a promotion and things that he's doing. There is a promotional code as well if you do want to order anything, and that is playoffs21. Gets you 25% off, I think, and free shipping. So it makes the cost really reasonable, and the quality of the items is class. And obviously, I'm fully fanboying off my own gear today. So.
So buy a shitload now.
Buy it all now because when it's the best gear and it's on the front of, I don't know what popular fashion magazines there are, but when all the celebrities are
when we're on Vogue,
when we're on the cover of Vogue's September edition, you can come at us for some merch. So I think we'll come straight to you, Joel, if that's all right. And as I said, you're fairly new to the group chat, and we'll come on to that in a minute, but I think what I would like to know is your journey into NFL, how you got into it, what made you pick Seattle as your team, and we'll go from there if that's all right, mate.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a bit of a strange one, really. I think like 13 years ago now, I work in night shift at exactly where I'm working now, and we worked 4 nights a week, and we started on the Monday night at 10 o'clock. So I would big onto my, I would call it soccer for people don't get confused. I would big on an Arsenal fan, which I'm sure Tom loves. And it used to finish about 7 o'clock, and I needed to stay up as late as possible on the Sunday night to be able to go to sleep and then keep my body clock perfect for the rest of the week. Sometimes it didn't work out, so I needed something to watch, and I'd watched so many films and TV programs. I was just bored. So I think I just stuck Sky Sports on, and there was this weird sport called American football on, and I just rolled with it and watched it. And after a few weeks, I really got into it. And I think there was one game. It was I think it was the Saints we played. Seahawks played the Saints, and I just saw running back Sean Alexander just run all over him. It was just awesome to watch. It just got me hooked. From then on, like the first few weeks, I would just, it's okay. It's weird. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know any of the rules. I know they have to get 10 yards in 4 goals, but I can work with it. And since then, and Matt Hasselbeck, I was just hooked ever since. So quite lucky, really.
It does hook you in it. It's a weird sport, isn't it? I remember when I first got Gary back into it a few years ago. I just said start watching it, and it wasn't long till something just unfortunately in the Bucs, but it wasn't long till something hooked him in, and I think it's sort of been similar for us all, really. Certainly in recent years, my obsession's been, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years in the making. And it's just ridiculous how obsessed I am, to the point where I've got my team's badge tattooed on me. What a fucking idiot! But yeah, so I mean, was it that reason why you went with Seattle, because of that one particular play that got you hooked in?
Yeah, it was just like Sean Alexander. For some reason, when I first started watching it, I just loved the running back position. I just loved that they're running through people constantly. just smashing it with what got me hooked on the sport. Like, I don't know, like, if you remember Sean Alexander, but he was a bit similar to Marshawn Lynch. Like, he just ran through people, just kept on running through them like walls and walls of people. And I don't know what it was about it. Just I didn't understand the tactics I did all at that time. I just loved that people were running through people, and that's how I got into it. And just it would, yeah, I'd say it was Sean Alexander that got me into the Seahawks. I didn't know how to go about supporting a new team. You know, when I watched soccer, I ended up obviously being from Yorkshire. My dad was a Leeds fan, and he never pushed it on me.
Yeah.
So I just ended up watching Ian Wright and ended up supporting Arsenal. I suppose it's the same with Seattle. I just remember watching him, and I was looking out for Seattle all the time, watching the highlights. And yeah, I suppose that's how I got hooked. Really, a bit of a weird thing, but
no, it's everyone's got a story, I suppose. I mean, I'm a fan of Marshawn Lynch, not just because of his Raiders days, but I think he was just a hell of a player and a hell of a character. I think probably the best way to describe him. There's the famous quote of him, "I'm just here so I don't get fined," which is still a favourite interview of mine. And you know, his obsession for Skittles as well, which sticks in my mind as well. I think he did a Skittles advert or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is. He's another person. Like, I think it's just that mentality of Seattle of, especially since I started what I took over from Sean Alexander, and just a lot of people probably don't like him, but I just can't see how you don't. He's comical off the pitch, and he's just an absolute beast on it. You know, you can't just obviously over a week. It was 10 years to the day with that Beastquake, and that is one of the best players I've ever seen. Obviously, maybe a bit biased, but
no, I'm with you on it. I think it's phenomenal to see the fact he sort of breaks through a few players, and he throws a guy to the floor as well at one point. His left hand, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I think that play just sums him up perfectly, because I think there's about 6 people around him where you can't see him, and then he just comes out. And like you said, he pushes someone to the floor, and then the celebration with the old crotch grab at the end of it, just sums up Marshall. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's a character that the game certainly misses. I think it's got mega serious in the last couple of years, where we kind of need people like him, but it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've lost Tom. Tom's clearly got bored of. No, he did have. Tom did have Lynch. Tom did that. It was the Arsenal thing, I think. Ian Wright.
He's like, "What? Why don't you talk about DK? I love DK." I mean, he's a massive DK fan, but
yeah, Tom did say he was having internet issues before he even came on. He had to reset and whatnot. But, here he is. We'll just end the show when he comes back on, shall we? Really nice of you to join us, mate. You've missed a whole load, mate.
Neither of them are technical difficulty sign. My favourite part as well is listening to like how someone's getting involved, and every now and again I can just hear Marshawn Lynch and then Sean Alexander, and I'm like, I want to know what's going on.
Well, it looks like you have to listen to it then, don't you?
Yeah, you'll have to watch this episode.
For God's sake.
I mean, to move on slightly, barring this weekend, how do you think the season's gone for Seattle on the whole?
It's been a strange one, because the first 5 weeks leading up to the bye, our offense were unbelievable. Couldn't fault them, one of the best offenses in the league, and our defense were one of the worst. And then it kind of was derailing a bit with the offense, but we're still getting over the line in certain games. Then we played Tom's team, and then they somehow beat us. And no disrespect to New York, I think I went in there thinking we were going to win. I went in there thinking we were going to win, and when they did beat us, our offense really went downhill, and our defense seemed to get better. And it's just a weird season, really, because especially going into this weekend, I thought you're always concerned with playoff games. You're meant to be playing one of the best teams in the league, and I did think we would have the edge, but it was just a bit suicidal, really, watching it. It was bad.
I had it down as a win on my pick.
I did as well.
Yeah.
I just think with the home advantage and as well, I know there's no crowd there, but it's still, the stat of not losing a playoff game at home, the Rams will see that. And I thought And obviously they didn't. they didn't go by the book, did they?
Yeah. No, it was an all right game actually. It wasn't the worst game of the weekend. I think we'll probably establish the Saints Bears game was the most boring game of the weekend, which we'll come on to in a few minutes' time. But it's from my point of view, it's good to sort of put a face and a voice to the name that we've had in our group chat for like some time now. I think you and Kieran joined at roughly the same time, didn't you? And now, as I said, you're almost part of the furniture there now. We've got so many new people in there that you're very active, which we like. And I also like people with opinion as well, which you and Kieran definitely do. You've worked out now that I'm just a fucking adult merchant and I like to give an opposite opinion to everybody. It was blatant.
Kieran, Jordan, sorry, he's a little sly little one every now and again. Like the Washington guy came in the group today and he just like tagged.
Well, Tom, you keep dying on us, mate. I only got like Washington and tagged them.
No, I think
fucking shit, internet.
I think for me personally, I've been unlucky. Like I've been watching NFL for 13 years. I've had one NFL fan at my work who's a Patriots fan who. Well, it's funny you should say that because you don't know what the hell's going on. He's like telling me about stuff. He's going, "Oh, did you see this?" And then I go, "Yeah, I did see it." And he's on about something. I'm like, "You don't know what you're on about, mate, do you?" But I'm that type of person with certain people where it's like I just acknowledge, "Oh yeah." So I haven't really had anyone to talk to NFL about. So all this stuff that comes out in the chat, it's all years of not being able to say anything. So these little sly digs.
Well, I'm all about it, mate. I'm all about it. I love it. No, as I said, I think you're definitely part of the furniture, and you're an established group member. I think, because there's been so many new people recently, and we're trying to grow the group. And what we're all trying to do is build a little community for people to talk to. Because I think Bones was the first one of the new crowd that you worked with him before, with Tom and Gaz had, and he just said he doesn't have any of his mates to talk to about it. And that sort of gave us an idea. So let's just expand it to, I'm sure there's not just Bones around the country that has nobody to talk to, because it is quite a niche sport, I think. And as big as it's getting, you don't really get big groups of people that are all mates, that live in the same sort of proximity and things like that. So I mean, we're quite lucky that me, Tom, Jamie, Gaz and Josh all worked together recently. So
I wouldn't say lucky with Gaz.
Or Josh. Only Jamie, because
I do okay.
I
have my benefits.
No, we need Gaz. He's took the socials job off us for this podcast because we couldn't be asked, essentially.
I have noticed a bit of hostility from your side, Matt, towards Gaz.
It's funny, and I probably should clear it up that it's just theatre. He's been my best mate for nearly 20 years.
Best man, not just best mate.
Yeah, he was my best man. I was his best man. Godfather to each other's children. I just know Gaz won't take it seriously. All we got then was prick. I don't know who you're talking. I don't know who you say is a prick there, Tom. Gaz,
you know him.
I am just a prick. It has become my thing when somebody new goes in the group. I just say everyone's all right apart from Gaz is a knob. So that's going to continue, I think, for as long as the group chat goes. I did say, Tom will testify, I did say to Gaz, you need to get in there before me and flip it. But Gaz was like, no, I can't take it away from you. It's your thing. Okay. But yeah, we obviously we've seen. I think we did have a question from you on Twitter, didn't we? Before we spoke to you about getting you on, and do you remember what your question was? If not, I will find it.
I think it's something to do with, I think it was the Steelers, wasn't it? I think I said like I can't remember the exact words. This is what happens.
Are they going to lose to the Browns? Yes, they are. Because I picked the Browns.
It's so much to do with the demise, because obviously I've seen. I think I've seen a few people like on NFL BBC, Jose. He said that they had no right to be in the playoffs. That team had no right to be there, and everyone were laughing about it at that time. And looks like you're right. To be honest with you.
We were saying it a few weeks ago. They were like the biggest fraud team, like 10-0, 11-0. It was like they don't deserve to be on that record, and it shows that they aren't that good.
I agree. I don't think. I think they ran very well as a franchise. I think they're solid and they'll always be a good team. I don't think they deserve to be the 10-0, 11-0, whatever they were. and they've been exposed a little bit. I can't stand Roethlisberger. I think he's fucking shit. And I'll try not to mince my words there, but I think shit's probably harsh. I think he's just past it. I think his best days are behind him now, and it's telling. But
not everyone could be TB12, can they, at that age?
We'll move on from that comment. And I think that snap where the guy snapped the ball, we were just talking before, weren't we, Jamie? We were just showing it.
I feel like I know what you're going to say.
But it's 7 feet in the air.
We reckon he must have snapped it 7 foot because what's Big Ben? Is he 6'5"?
6'5", yeah.
And it went over his stretched arms. So that's another 4, 5, 6 inches on top of that. So the guy snapped it 7 foot, and he should only really be sort of between 4 and 5 foot into his midriff. He snapped his 7 foot, the fucking idiot. But quite like to see the Steelers.
And yesterday as well, he threw 3-4 interceptions, Ben Roethlisberger as well.
Yeah, he did. And
he's now tied second for the most interceptions on the season, along with Russell Wilson.
As soon as you said tied, I knew it was coming.
Nicely
first, though, not first. But tied
at least he's second. At least he's not number one by himself anymore. I suppose.
I mean, they're both out now, so they can't go any higher, can they? So Jared Goff still has a chance.
Who's first? Is it Drew Lock?
And Carson Wentz.
He played 4 games, didn't he?
I think the player that stood out to me yesterday, we mentioned Big Ben's age, is I can't remember what time of the game it was, but I can't remember. I don't know if it was TJ Watt. TJ Watt hit him. It wasn't a late hit or anything, but he fell down and he got the first down, and you saw him running towards the next to the line of scrimmage, and it was like an old man run. Like it was really struggling to get there.
I think Gaz put it in the group, didn't he? So I've seen Big Ben run. I think I just put Waddle. It was you, Tom. It might have been. I can't remember. I think Tom's died on us again. I was going to say something, but I completely forgotten. Seeing Tom's frozen's put me off a little.
But I think maybe I was going to ask, what is your impression of Russell Wilson? Like, I think he's still elite, Russell Wilson, but this season, 14 interceptions.
This is a great bit not to have Tom for, because he hates him.
No, I'm obviously people might think I'm biased, but I think he's still a fantastic quarterback. I just think that offensive line is horrendous. If you go look at the stats over the year, over the last, I don't think they've ever addressed that offensive line. I think they've just it's one of them things where Russell gets things done. It's fine. We can spend our money elsewhere. And obviously it's just seems to have caught up with him now. When someone's getting to the playoffs constantly, I know he's won his one Super Bowl a while back when we had the Legion of Boom, but over the last few years, I think there's been one time when we haven't got to the playoffs, but I think it was still a winning season when we didn't get to the playoffs. And I think if you go look at his pressures and his hurries and his quarterback hits, it's absolutely ridiculous compared to people like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I think it's like he gets hurried and hit and sacked double the amount of them. And you just look at their offensive line, don't you, and think if you could have one or two players that they have, it could be a different story. Like Dwayne Brown's a good like left tackle, but he's 35 years old. 35-year-old against. I know age is a number sometimes, but you don't need Aaron Donald running at you 3 times a year. With his playoff. 35 years of age. I know Rams are a different defense altogether, so it always looks worse playing the Rams. But I think it's something they need to address this year. Definitely, I've always thought that, but I think now it's really come to light even more so, especially this year.
It almost seems like they rely on Wilson's ability to scramble. That they've sort of gone, well, we don't need to really invest heavily in there. Yeah. I hope I'm coming through all right now. I'm that dossy, I'm having to tether off my phone. But yeah, it seems to be working better than Sky's super fast fucking broadband.
Are we gonna do come at us Virgin Media or whatever?
Yeah, that's it. I need to dig for an internet sponsor now. I was thinking
broadband behind you next week.
I was thinking it yesterday. I think they mentioned something. He'd been sacked. Is it like 40 times? And it's like Jesus, that's a lot. That's DJ only gets that in one game, but that's what happens when you've got people like Nate Solder and fucking Will Hernandez in the line. But yeah, you can't, as much as Wilson is great, that you can't sustain that, can you? If he carries on like that, he's not going to be able to go into the ages of what people would want him to go into.
I think it's 47 times he's been sacked this year. I think something like 170 pressures. If you go look at the numbers, I can't pull them out of my head, but it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous compared to the rest, And it's like there was that one play on Saturday where like say, scrambles to his left and he hits DK, and like you said, he does stuff like that, and people just think, look, he can do that. It's fine, we don't have to worry about putting money into that offensive line, and. It's only so long you can, like you said, sustain it, isn't it? You're going to get caught out eventually.
And that's one of the good things that the Bucs did. Like, we have 43-year-old Tom Brady, get a good offensive line, give him time to throw the ball, and he can make over 40 touchdowns in a season. Like, it makes sense. You need to invest in that O-line, otherwise, even the greatest quarterbacks, can get sacked, can't they? So.
Yeah.
Going until we get knocked out. The Brady talks keep going. We can't help it.
I think
Browns have done it, haven't they, with Baker?
Yeah.
He can't do anything outside of the pocket. Yet he's brilliant in the pocket, which I hate to say. So they've gone, well, we'll invest as much as we can in protecting him, and look at where they've got.
Yeah. Raiders done it with Derek Carr. They know he when the pocket collapses, he collapses, but. They've got the most this season, most expensive offensive line of football, and he's had his best season. So, albeit 20 million a season with Trent Brown played about 40 seconds, a fucking waste of space. But it is. I know he nearly died, but it is what it is. I think just before we do go any further, what we're drinking, boys? What you rocking this week, Tom?
Tom's not rocking anything, is he? Tom, what are you drinking?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to make this as short as possible because I'll probably be in and out. And I'm also trying the sort of more subtle approach because it didn't work with Corona, did it? So there's this lovely, gorgeous beer, and it's just a beautiful bottle as well. They just need someone as wide as this bottle to really model it for them and really put them out there in the market.
You froze perfectly then.
The Mondello's back. Well, go on then, Matt.
I just flashed. I mean, I'm on it a minute, but I mean, I'm not done there. I've been speaking to the wonderful people at Corona, and I've not gone for them little shitty bottles you get, Tom. I've got a
sometimes
nice
bigger is better.
And I'm not sure if you can see there, the lid still is on. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use this Corona football bottle opener that I've got as well. So
where'd you get that, Matt?
I couldn't reveal my sources, mate. Oh, look at that! Opens the bottle perfectly. That is incredible. I'm the guy for you, Corona. I am the guy.
Fucking sell out.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on vodka, as always. Sponsored by Viking Quest and Entourage. Get me an Entourage, I'll do it. I mean, it's not even on air anymore, but I'll do it.
I just have that on repeat in my head for all the episodes I've watched. I'm on vodka. Well, because I was on it was like a late appointment for this podcast. I've run out of beer, so I've gone for the old rum. So a bit left over from Christmas. I think it went up because they want enough for another glass, so it's gone up to about there with rum, right? And I don't know if you can see that, and then rest like as a top up. But I think I can't remember what it's called now. I think it's called Dead Red or something like that. Bit of vanilla, beautiful.
Nice.
First person to drink rum, so there you go. There's an achievement for you.
Yeah, he's done well.
We've had, what have we had? What was Bones on? Was he on?
Tequila, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's tequila.
What, shots?
No, I got full glass.
He was drinking tequila straight.
He was not fucking about.
We're going to need somebody to top that. I'm just going to drink the whole bottle of vodka next time. Just like, come on, Smirnoff, let's do this.
That Corona is lovely.
I think going back onto your stats, I remember seeing one other day after Seahawks lost. I think 2012 when Russell came on scene, he had less than 40 sacks. Since then, he's been sacked 40 plus times every season. That's crazy to me.
That's lots.
That is
just...
You're not going to win games for that, are you?
No, definitely not.
Makes you think I won a Super Bowl, to be honest with you. But obviously that Legion of Boom helped a lot there. But
well, they always say defense wins championships. So do you think LA can go the way Donald's playing at the moment?
No. Well, has anyone got an update on his injury?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
No, I think I saw somewhere that they said that Aaron Donald will probably be good to go. I think it's not a broken rib, it's something. He's done something. I can't remember what it was, but he should be good to go. And the quarterback still, I think it's going to wait until the game time decision. By the sounds of it.
Yeah, apparently, Aaron Donald and Cooper Cup both expected to play against the Packers. So.
Yeah, I'd love them to be the Packers, but I can't see it.
Packers are too good. Like Aaron Rodgers is on another planet, especially this season.
I think, to be honest with you, like on the NFC side, I'm sitting pretty a little bit apart from all. I'm sure you two might agree with this, but I want anything but a Bucs Super Bowl team because I've got Packers, Rams, and Saints to win the Super Bowl. So.
I do agree with you, and it's not for money.
Sorry, Jamie.
God, if he screams frozen.
I haven't frozen, no. No. Obviously,
yeah, I think
I'm biased.
Nicely moves on to the Bucs, Jamie. How talk us through it?
Well, we're through to the next round. Who would have thought it?
Excellent. We'll move on. Any other games you want to
No, I mean, I've always said I think we're going to lose to the Saints. Like, they've already beaten us twice this season. We talked about it before as well.
Are they going to beat you 3 times?
38-3 the last time we played them. We didn't even get a touchdown. I think we got a pity field goal.
I think the Bucs are a better team now than they were.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
I don't think the Saints were as good as they were mid-season.
And you're in Brady's own, aren't you? Let's be honest.
I can't get my hopes up.
It'll be a good game. It's the one most people can't really call, isn't it? The Bucs Saints.
It can go anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if we lose, I'm happy. If you told me at the start of the season I'd get to the playoffs, I'd take it. So I don't care. We're already through to the conference. We're already through to the division playoff. So I'm happy with that. So if we win, we've got a conference championship to play for. If we lose, we won the first playoff game, so it's a win for me. I don't care. But ideally, I mean, I want to go all the way and win it at Raymond James, be the first team to win it in the home stadium. Brady getting that number 7. So, I mean, it would be unbelievable. But the game itself was too close for me. The annoying thing is the Bucs Saints game is the 12 o'clock game on the Sunday next week as well. So, another late game, which is always great. But Washington played unbelievably well, and bloody Heineken, or whatever you want to call him, Heineken, whatever you want to call him, was absolutely unreal. Like, he's won the playoff MVP just in that one game. I mean, he did get an interception.
By losing a game.
He was unreal. Like, literally, some of the plays he was doing for somebody that's played one start, and obviously with the XFL, with the Battle Hawks as well.
The dive for the pylon was phenomenal.
I'm sure he died. I'm still sure he died from the 10-yard line. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was going forever.
That's literally going to be on a canvas in his living room. He's going to have a documentary one day. He's just going to come into his house and he's just there, a massive canvas. Remember that one game when I did that? Yeah. But, I mean, you've got to look like, is he going to get a team next year as well? Are Washington going to keep him? A lot of teams are probably going to look for him. I mean, he did a great display against probably our Bucs, which are the second.
I mean, every credit to him. He had an all right game, but that's it. He's not going to make it in the NFL.
Tom's woke up.
He's not going to. I don't mind.
The Bucs are the second best defense. Best second defense.
Everyone wants his fairy tale story. He had his little game. He's like that reserve goalkeeper that gets to play in an FA Cup after 4 injuries, and he has a storm of a game, and then you put him in the league the next game, and he gets let 16.
And he just fumbles it.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, like
this is why you don't play Karius in a Champions League final.
He will get a backup QB play somewhere, and that's it. I'm happy he got a bit of limelight and enjoy it, mate. That's great.
The XFL's back in 2 years.
But people need to wind down on this whole. Oh God, he was amazing. He lost the game.
I do agree with Tom. I think I think fantastic game, but can you do it over 16 games in a season if he's your number one?
No, I mean, I said it at the time. I think it's like Foles, isn't it? Foles had an unbelievable Super Bowl run, and look what he's done since.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet from somewhere, I think, and it made me chuckle. And I think someone said that with that performance, he might be able to get some Case Keenum QB2 money, you know. Because no one's made as much money as a QB2 than Case Keenum, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mariota.
And people
this year.
comparing it, obviously, they've got to think.
It's magic.
Yeah, they've got to think Washington's QBs, like, do you know what I mean? Your benchmark's low. It really is. And that's not a dig at Alex Smith, but the guy's getting on and obviously, you know, he's had his injury problems and stuff. But yeah, you know, you're looking at a team that's had a terrible offense, yet they've got good weapons. So yeah, he's done well to look okay and lose a game. We're all getting too much on a hype train because it's a fairy tale.
Do you reckon they destroyed that Legardi trophy? Do you reckon he's got over threw it away?
I hope so. I really hope so. I'm sick of that trophy.
But no, we like him.
And we've just added a Washington guy in the group today. Yay.
I mean, shout out to Andy. He's got his own Washington podcast. I think he's probably the only Washington fan that'll listen to this. Listen to your own podcast, Andy.
But yeah, it was closer than what I would have liked. Everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to completely annihilate them." I mean, everyone was saying in the group, "Oh, let's get Buccaneers like 30 plus points, or whatever like that." And it was too close. And then towards the fourth quarter, I was like, "We're going to lose it." Like there was a moment where I was like, "We're going to lose," and I was like, "I can't deal with if we lose to Washington, the amount of shit that we're going to get in that group." I would leave. I'd do a mat and just leave. But
I've not stormed out in a while, to be fair.
We haven't played.
it was the Jets game, wasn't it? The last
Jets.
Well, you're almost. Yeah, I mean, Jets. Why not? They could have won that game now. They weren't when they won the other game after. It was like, would they go back to that now? They could have got another win there, but.
Yeah, but they didn't. They saved Paul Gunther a job for a couple more weeks at the time.
Yeah.
But,
Who would have thought Jets' 2 wins would have been 2 playoff teams that are still there now? Rams and Browns.
Yeah. I'm happy as well. Like I said, Mike Evans got over 100 yards. Antonio Brown got another touchdown. He's keeping going. So.
Well, this is what I was going to say earlier about the Steelers. They've lost Le'Veon Bell, who's in the playoffs for the Chiefs. They lost Antonio Brown, who's now in the playoffs with the Bucs. They're both still in the playoffs. Steelers aren't.
Yeah.
Belichick.
They're getting hammering about how poor their run game's been, haven't they? Because apparently that was, you know, that's all the Steelers have been known for is this powerhouse run team. And now they're pretty much saying all they are like a 5-yard throw team. Just getting out quickly throw. I know like the 3 or 4 games I've watched the Steelers, the commentators have absolutely hammered them. Yeah, covered. But yeah, it's like it's a bit tough, isn't it? If you go from being known as this power heavy team, like you say, Le'Veon Bell, and then you've got, I think Connor's all right, but he's all right, and then you've got an aging QB that everyone's sort of digging out. And then you've got Juju that just brings on all the wrong media attention towards, doesn't it? You know, they were destined to sort of something go wrong. You know, my internet was absolutely KO'd before, but I imagine we touched on what Jordan was saying on the tweet about, you know, what happened. But they lost 4 of the last 5, didn't they? And then if you clear the off-season game was 5 of the last 6, and momentum has just been absolutely blitzed.
So many dropped catches. If you like, even yesterday, even Saturday, yeah. No, yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Today.
Not enough sleep.
Yeah. Today. It was at 1:20 today. It was at 1:20 today. I know.
Yeah, so many drops. Even Eric Ebron. Jesus Christ. How was he still playing? That guy.
You know, I think the whole thing we said before we came on air as well was that with that, I've watched all 6 games and I was like, I don't know how. Like, obviously the bag's under my eyes. But we always said, I can't bother watching the Browns Steelers game. It's gonna be awful. And then that thing happened in the first quarter, and it was like, well, it looks like I'm staying up and watching this game. It's gonna be all right. And it's probably the biggest shock of it all as well.
The games that the Browns lost, I think, might have been without Chubb. That might have a look at that.
I think you're right.
Early on in the season, I think there's no Chubb, no win.
Well, Chubb
think
was
the
the
only
highest
one-
rated running back, weren't he, in the season?
I think the only one I can remember that
He's up there.
when they had Chubb is when they didn't have the wide receivers against Jets.
Yeah.
And they were saying Nick Chubb's got the most yards after contact this season, which is pretty good. I mean, put him against us, we've got the best run defense. Let's see what happens. But,
If the Browns get to the Super Bowl, something's gone really wrong in the AFC.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's the 1-2 punch in it. You've got Kareem Hunt as well. That's another thing that that went under the radar with Cleveland Browns is Kareem Hunt going back to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of him?
No, I ain't seen it. I just saw a tweet.
Yeah, well, they're it's like in the locker room and they're playing that Corvette song, obviously digging Juju out, and it's being played loud as well. So I imagine they could hear it in the Steelers dressing room, which I think is absolute shit out at its finest. But then he like looks into the camera, something says something like, "I'm coming to the Chiefs. It's personal this week," or something like that. And I just think you've been digging Juju out for giving himself bad.
Same old Browns.
And then you've just done that. Like
Roles reversed,
you've got to get a pasting as well.
You
An
can't
absolute
take the Chiefs out.
Especially
No.
again, what they did to us in the first quarter when we played the Chiefs. Like Kareem Hunt had over 200 yards in the first quarter.
They are
Not Kareem Hunt,
beatable.
sorry. Fucking Hill.
Tyreek
Hill,
They
sorry.
They are beatable though, as has been proved by a very average 8-8 team. So
yeah.
they're beatable. They're just very, very fucking good. Really fucking excellent.
That's the beauty of the playoffs, isn't it? It's just one game, and if you don't turn up, you're going home, aren't you?
Yeah, you can't luckily win a playoff game really. Although the Browns kind of did last night with the first snap, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it was by the Steelers, I think, last night.
Yeah.
I really do, and I don't want to take it away from the Browns, but I do want to take it away from the Browns because I fucking despise Baker.
4 interceptions, though.
But
4 picks by the Browns, and that turnover for this defense.
I know. I mean,
as well.
two. You can't really attribute to him. I know they will go against him, but that was an unbelievable play from the defensive lineman, and then it was just a poor tip from whoever the receiver was. But
yeah, it was a good catch though.
He still threw for 500 yards.
I know, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Over 500 yards and still lose the game.
Yeah.
Which is what Brady did against the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
What was I going to say then? I think the game that majority of us looked forward to was seeing how the Bills did. Bills were pretty good.
I had the Colts.
Bills looking. It was. I think that was the game that was probably the closest to a call. Pre-game, I think. Bills looking good. Bills Chiefs would be a hell of an AFC Championship game, I think.
I really hope we get that game.
Yeah, I do too.
You know Browns are going all the way, don't you?
To be honest, though, I think even if the Ravens beat the Bills, which I don't think they will, Lamar versus Mahomes will be decent.
That's the game everybody wants, though, isn't it? That's the game everybody wants.
I want Bills to play the Chiefs. I think it'd be a great.
Yeah, I think I won't be upset if the Ravens got through, but Bills Chiefs is the one in it really.
So it'll be the
so Browns Ravens,
which is divisional. To be fair, that's divisional, so there'll be a little bit of heat in there.
Yeah, I mean,
after 12.
I think we're all going to talk then.
No, I think everyone went at the same time, didn't they?
I was just going to say, with that division, it was Browns, Ravens, and thingy, wasn't it? Browns, Ravens, and Steelers all in the same division, all got through in like 11-5, which is absolutely unreal for a single division to do that as well.
Yeah.
I think after 10 weeks, you wouldn't have been bothered about the Ravens too much, but they've kind of got like maybe not as hot as the Bills, but they've got hot at the right time.
They're hitting form definitely. I think it's probably a good talking point now about the Ravens and the old Titans logo. What's our take on that? We had a decent debate on it this morning.
Tom loves it though. Tom's like, I'll anything shithousery. I don't care.
I am all for that shithousery. Like, and I would have been 10 times more. I wouldn't have ran off the field, not because I would have gone and shook the hand. I would have been back over to that fucking logo, and I've been teabagging the shit out of it. Never mind.
Could you imagine if like fucking Dak Prescott comes back and does that on the Giants logo? What would you do then?
Yeah,
would you love that?
I'd be spewing. But he's not going to come back because we've broke his leg, and he's not going to have a career.
That's what I said in the group today. It'll piss the fans off for probably a few years, but I don't think the players will be too arsed. And I think Lamar in an interview said the reason he got everyone to come off the field because he didn't want to come across as disrespectful. He was like, right, come on, let's just go with done our bit and let's call it a day. But I think not shaking hands probably is a little bit disrespectful. But I quite liked it, as I said in the group. I'd have pissed on that logo if I was a Ravens player.
Yeah,
cock out the lot. I'd probably have heard on it, and OBJ might have.
Yeah, come and clean it up. Absolutely. Yeah. But, I'm about that. Like, I love it. I love anything like that. Like the running off the field, I'm not a fan of. And Kieran was obviously quite, against it from his rugby background. And you know what? I sort of agree. I dug Brady out. I thought he was disrespectful. It was a completely different scenario. Brady didn't do it because obviously the team that beat him had got dug out. But I still, if I was Lamar, would have gone over and shook hands because I would have had the horriblest smirk on my face, and I'd want to look them in the eyes and know just knock them out of the playoffs. And I do think
look at me. I'm your quarterback now.
Yeah, yeah. I do think you look at Dick running down the tunnel to then having to come back out 30 seconds later to give a media interview. I just think you look a bit of a knob, and then you come across really thick in your media interview as well. Yeah, but I also like him as well. Like he doesn't take any shit when she was like, "This game's being billed as you versus Derek Henry," and he was like, "No, it isn't. It's not about that at all."
I like that. I like that.
Titans, yeah. I do like Lamar. I do, and he gets a lot of stick, and I like that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. I think the Ravens-Bills game, I think, will be brilliant. And I hope it is as well. I hope it's brilliant because for me, that's the game of this round now. Bucs and Saints should be good, but for me, it's Ravens versus Bills. I'm really excited about because whoever gets through gets the Chiefs, and it's a win-win. Whoever gets through, I think, in the excitement game. But I want the Bills to go through because we've already had Lamar versus Kermit this season, and it was terrible. So I want to see Josh Allen versus Kermit and see what happens there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all disrespecting the Browns. You don't think the Browns are going to do anything? Are you Chiefs just going to annihilate them?
Yeah.
If the Chiefs turn up, the Chiefs will beat them. It's like the FA Cup in it. You've always got a chance on the day, but if the Chiefs turn up, the Chiefs win. Simple as.
It's quite an interesting point we've just been talking about Lamar. It brings us back to a debate you and I had, Jordan, a few weeks back in the group chat where at the time I was massively fishing and looking for some sort of form of entertainment when I said I didn't really rate Lamar Jackson. It was a bit of tongue in cheek. I was just throwing a different opinion in. Tom's long enough, we've worked together for long enough in a fairly close capacity where Tom will know I give an opposite, a devil's advocate opinion to almost anything for the sake of an argument. But yeah, no, he is playing really well. The Ravens, as we said, hitting form at the right time. So Ravens Bills, I think, will be a good game, and then the Saints Bucs is the good game from the NFC. They're the two games I probably go out more to watch. I probably won't actually because the Bucs is difficult.
They're both late games. Bills Ravens is 1 o'clock as well on Saturday.
That's on the Saturday. I don't mind watching that because I don't have to get up on Sunday.
Yeah, and Saints Bucs is 11:40. So annoyingly, there's no 6 o'clock games. No 6 o'clock games for the first time, annoyingly. And I absolutely loved it. It was he followed Scott Hansen on Twitter on Saturday. It was like, here we go, it's 7 hours of commercial football.
11 hours.
11 hours of commercial football.
I hope it's something they look at next year with the 17 playoff. I think everyone's enjoyed it, haven't they? That extra team.
Yeah. It was decent this weekend. It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the bits I watched. I didn't watch it all. I've not watched it all yet. I did enjoy it. It was good.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I think going back to what, like you said, with Lamar and stuff. I think the point that you raised in there in the chat is it's a valid point. You know, it's he is going to need to start throwing more eventually. You know, like, and he makes some good throws, but he also makes some terrible throws as well. You know, like, but when you're winning, I suppose it don't matter too much. Does it? It's when and like early on when we had that when we had the little debate, he wasn't performing to his best at that time.
I wonder if someone screenshot him that and sent it, because since then he's been pretty fucking good.
I saw a video earlier on Twitter of a guy who he's obviously like a massive Lamar fan.
Video of a Lamar fan.
And he'd clearly been waiting for the people that had been digging him out, you know, about there was like a video basically going against all the stats, you know, you're saying he needs to throw more, look at all this. And one that stood out was he's still thrown the 5th most TD receptions over the past 2 years. So I think, I don't know, the guy was saying that a lot of it, when you actually look at the stats, he does throw as much as other QBs. It's just he's that electric. People focus on his runs more.
The thing is, though,
which is interesting.
The reason why
I hope that come through when I wasn't all over the place.
It kind of did. The Ravens are so good, like I said, with Lamar. So if you can got a quarterback who can run for that first down, you're going to keep the ball. You're not going to lose the game, are you? So if he's going to run the ball, get those 10 yards, you've got the ball. They're not going to have the ball, so you can keep it. That's the only problem with having these old school quarterbacks like Rodgers and Brady and Breeze, that they keep the ball and throw it in the pocket. Like, they can't run for those 10 yards. So if you're 3rd and 8, you trust Lamar to try and run that. And if he gets that first down, you've got the ball. But
no such thing as 3rd and 8. It's always 3rd and short.
That touchdown run was unbelievable. I've never seen acceleration like that before. It's ridiculous.
I mean, just to sort of touch on what you said there, Tom. Yeah, he might throw as much according to stats, but he ran nearly as many yards as he threw. He carried it 16 times and had 17 completed passes. When he ran it, he got a touchdown. When he threw it, he got none, an interception. So,
I tell you what, when I'm watching it, I'll let him.
I think
go on, Tom.
Come, Mr. Internet.
He's not. Internet's not. I just keep muting him.
I did think it looked like it were going to unfold as another loss for Lamar Jackson at one point in that game. It looked like it were going to be one-sided.
Would that have been his 3rd playoff loss? Has he been?
Yeah, he's never won one. That's his first win, isn't it?
So he's 1-2 now, isn't he? God, I'll tell you what, that would have raised questions about Lamar.
That's all they kept saying, though, wouldn't it? It was like, that was all it was, because he said it in an interview as well. So, you finally won a playoff game. It's like, yeah, now you can all shut up about it, basically.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game this week against the Bills. Yeah. Did you say that was the late one on Saturday?
Yeah, you got the Bills Ravens at 1:15, Packers Rams 9:35 on the Saturday, and then the Sunday Chief Browns at 8, Saints Bucs at 11:40.
You get into the business end. There's no shit games now. We don't really.
No, it's like there's something to play for, isn't it? It's not like.
Not many of the Browns are in.
I just can't. I'm not looking forward to that. The week after, it's just Sunday again. There's only 2 games. And then you don't have a Pro Bowl this year. It's just like, here's your players that have been selected for the Pro Bowl.
Parading them out on TV, or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be a weird one. We don't really know what we're going to do Super Bowl yet, do we? We had plans to sort of potentially host a party at a bar in Blackpool and make it all about us because we're dead egotistical. But we don't know what we're going to be allowed to do. We've had an offer of a venue where we're allowed to film, so we can stream perhaps, the 3 of us, as long as we're sat apart, and the venue is allowed to host us filming, just not as a bar. fuck knows how that'll work. But
Bring your
I don't
own
know.
beer. We're fine.
yeah, potentially. I don't because the bar's got an upstairs.
Just
room
give
now,
me
hasn't it?
wings.
So I don't know. Yeah,
Just
feed
give
me.
me wings.
Was it 50 wings we got last year? Was it 50? It was 50, wasn't it? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because if it's, I'll be honest, if it's the Bucs Chiefs and we're not doing anything, I'm probably not going to watch it.
So it will be just me.
I won't want to waste my Monday off on I had to waste my Monday off on the Chiefs fucking 49ers last year. I'm not sure I want to waste the. Tom's had enough.
Tom's like, I'm not wasting my Monday recording this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a strange one. It's going to be the first time in probably 10 years that I've not done something for the Super Bowl.
But
maybe longer, I don't know.
Interesting to see what fans they have. Do Tampa Bay have had any fans in?
Yeah,
over the season?
It's 10% still. Florida's always 10%. I'm a wrestling fan as well. So AEW have always had fans in as well because that's in Jacksonville. So Florida still have 10-25% fans in.
Yeah, they were going to have the NBA in Florida, weren't they? Didn't they have talks to move every?
Well, yeah, they did for when it came back last year. It was all played at Walt Disney, weren't it? At Disneyland, the actual playoffs for the NBA, it was all played there. Every team went there and played there. So there's no home or away games. So
yeah, it's going to be bizarre.
It would have been weird the weekend just performing in front of nobody, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Usual concert for him, I suppose. I mean, you can't beat last year's Super Bowl halftime show. I had a little moment in the bar we were in Blackpool with Shakira and J-Lo on the screen. I had a really nice little moment where I fell in love with two ladies at the same time.
Well, I don't think you can do that this year. It's the weekend, isn't it? So
it's a popular talking point. It always comes up a lot, doesn't it, in the chat, that one?
Yeah. I wasn't particularly arsed about the game, but that made it all right. It made it
Is
worth
this the
going out for.
half-time show?
Yeah.
Perfect time to come back.
Shakira,
Yeah.
where?
What time did it was about 6 o'clock when we went out, wasn't it, last year?
6 p.m. Yeah, because we went walkabout. You all wanted to go walkabout, discount.
Yeah.
£2 drink.
Yeah, we did.
I should have stayed asleep for a few more hours.
But
I remember I went outside for some fresh air at some point in the fourth quarter, I feel like.
Didn't come back.
I am steaming. I'm outside. It's time to go.
Yeah.
But we've all talked about on the previous episodes. I think you're still going with the Chiefs, Matt, Tom.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Can't see past them.
Who are you going for the Super Bowl and who's winning it all?
It's a.
Now Seahawks are out. Obviously, you would have
but-
picked yourself, but
I probably won't, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan. He's realistic.
Many years of just bashing your head against the wall, you come to realise that there's no point. There's no point in dreaming. Just if it happens, it happens. But on the picks, I did go for the Saints. I think the Saints to beat the Bills in the final. I think, but it's one of them where it's like I don't know. I wouldn't. I put money on it at the start of the season, but I won't put money on it now because I wouldn't have. I don't know. It's an hard one. Packers and Saints. It's like we haven't really talked about Tampa Bay as much. Really, a lot of people. They have got a sneaky chance. Not many people are talking about, and that's what might help them really.
Like you said, as long as you come into the playoffs on a roll and you keep that roll going, I mean, that's the problem with the Steelers. They lost about 4 games out of 5 going into the playoffs, didn't they, or something? So we won. We won 4 games. We won our last 4.
The NFC's set up to have a veteran quarterback there with Brady, with Breeze, with Rodgers. It's likely going to be one of those 3. And then the AFC's set up to have a young, flashy, new type of quarterback with Lamar, with Mahomes.
It's the old versus the new.
With Allen, it is very much the new school versus the old school, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I know I've just dismissed Baker and Jared Goff there, but
spot on.
Oh, it's definitely going to be Rams and Cleveland.
I know. If the Super Bowl,
you imagine how disgusting that Super Bowl would be.
I will quit this podcast. There you go.
Yeah.
If it's the Rams Browns in the Super Bowl, I will end this podcast.
You are shitting yourself now when the Browns win. Beat the Chiefs.
I'm not. I'll just I'll get a new sport.
Okay, so what would happen if the conference final, like say it was like the Browns got through and then they won their AFC game, they go into the Super Bowl, and then it was the Bucs versus the Rams in the championship game, and you had to support Brady, otherwise you are leaving this podcast.
No, I said if it was the Browns versus the Rams.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So no, it's going to be the Rams and the Bucs in the NFC Conference Championship. Would you have to support Brady then, just so you don't leave the podcast? Anyway, to just get you to support Brady.
Podcast.
Just change it to 4 inches.
I'd take the hit on the podcast not to have Brady win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, if yeah, certainly 3 of us in this quartet would. If it gets to the point where I might have to redo my statement next week, then I will do. But I'm that confident that the Chiefs will beat the Browns.
It'll take some for Rams to go into Lambeau and win as well. You know, a really good top performance, to be honest.
That's it. They're the 2 weakest teams left in it, and they're the 2 best teams in it. So.
Like I said, like Green Bay, like Aaron Rodgers, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in the season. 5 interceptions.
A little bit of me really wants to see Brady Rodgers in the NFC. Really wants to see that because it's the Super Bowl everybody wanted for years, wasn't it? And I'd like to see that happen again, just because I think even Breeze Rodgers, to be honest, all 3 of them are coming into their sort of.
Well, they're all saying it's Breeze's last year, isn't it? Breeze is basically going. Yeah. So will he go out with a bang and hand the reins over to?
I think you won't get me saying this often, but I think the Bucs will give Green Bay a better game.
Yeah, so winning it all.
I think the worst case is Rams and Browns being there. I think that anyone else being there, well, maybe Bucs for certain people, but
you know what? I used to like the Bucs.
You only don't like it because of Brady.
Literally, Brady and Antonio Brown.
Hey, it's only 2 years. 2 years, and they'll be gone.
Brady made me dislike them. Antonio Brown makes me despise them. That is well. I do like the Bucs. Gaz is a Bucs fan, and you are, Jamie. You both my mates, and I don't mind seeing success for me mates teams. I don't mind the Giants. I don't mind almost any team in the group chat, apart from I Red. But it's just Brady. Once Brady retires and you have another quarterback, whether that be somebody out of the draft in a couple of years or somebody else you trade, I'll go back.
And Mahomes could do another Brady and win 6.
I already hate Mahomes, so my hatred isn't going to get. He's going to win more than one, isn't he? He's that good, and the Chiefs are that good. He's going to win multiple Super Bowls, and we've got to deal with that frog-faced little fucker for the next 9 years. So, and we've also got Herbert in our division as well now. And our favourite Geordie Mark texted me today that Pro Football Focus have done a draft, and they had the Broncos taking Trey Lance at number 9.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. So that Mark actually texted me saying if that happens, I will die, because not only will we have Herbert and Mahomes, we'll have Trey Lance, who Mark rates quite high as well. So tough times ahead. Buzzing. One playoff appearance.
I mean, when have the Giants got the Chiefs? Because we can always try and break Mahomes.
It'll be next year, won't it?
It is next year.
Break him.
Yeah, but like I said, he dies. He's one of these annoying people that's got that bloody. He's like him and his sister, like massively double jointed. Whereas like that time his knee popped out, he just popped it back in on the field and got up and went off, missed the rest of the game, the next one out, and he was back.
It's like T1000.
Yeah. It's just so back into shape. Like, you get when you're at school, you always had that one guy that was just good at every sport, and you just think like, why are you good at everything? Like Mahomes is that, could have played baseball, chose to play NFL annoyingly, and then even when he gets injured, he's like, I'll be fine, just give me a week. I'll just pop my knee back in and we'll crack on. Like,
good voice as well. Like, I'll
be fine. It's okay.
I've just thought, like, what if it is the Packers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, which is most likely seed 1 versus seed 1 in it. That's probably the most logistical way it's going to go. Could you imagine those State Farm adverts It's going to be unreal. The Mahomes rate and the Rodgers rates. It's going to be unreal. I love Jake. When is Jake coming on? Jake is my dream guest. Jake, I don't care about anyone else.
Cheers, Jamie.
I have a list. Matt wants all the people from the chat. There's only 2 people I want on this podcast. Jake from State Farm and Jameis Winston. They're the only 2 I want. I don't care about anyone else. Just keep it to the 3 of us.
Like Winston. If we ever get Winston on here, JP's coming back on as well. And we can just reenact that moment of the plane crash disaster. Outstanding.
But I think that's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, what people may or may not know, Green Bay are my second team, purely because when I first started watching NFL back, because I like green. Green is my favourite colour, actually. So yeah, that's why. No, it's because when I first started watching it back in 2002-03 time, the Packers had a player called Najee Davenport, and I should really have supported them. It's my sister's fault I don't, because I could have had some successful years recently, but now I've got many years of fucking misery from 2004 when she bought me a Raiders jersey. Cheers, Gemma.
I mean, you've had one playoff since then, right?
Yeah, and Derek Carr broke his leg on Christmas Eve, so we played Connor Cook. His first and only ever start in an NFL game was a playoff game against the then very average Houston Texans, who had Brock Osweiler as quarterback. You know, where's he these days? Not even good enough for the XFL. Yeah.
Unless Heineken.
Love NFL, love playoffs. What a great podcast we're doing. All the best.
So join us next week when we beat the Saints, and it's literally just me because none of you can handle it.
If you're out there, guys, I need some more of these.
Obviously, I've not been involved that much this week because of technical difficulties in the studio. As you can tell, it's very,
in
very
the New York
studio.
Towers. In Higgins' house.
But it seems like I've got a bit of a clear connection now. So, Jordan, thank you very much for coming on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate it, man.
Face to the fishing in the group. And long may it continue, mate. It's a shame you didn't come into the group a week earlier. I wanted to discuss this earlier because the weekend before you joined, Spurs beat Arsenal and Giants beat Seahawks. It would have been fantastic to have you in then. But unfortunately, you were a week late. But yeah, mate, cheers. Thank you very much for coming. Brilliant. And thanks to Matt and Jamie for holding the fort down when I was probably speaking like Johnny 5-0. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've not been involved that much. Sorry, guys.
Looks like the Giants.